England, long story short, England rejected me. So I went there, and that was the turning point.
We need to come back to that story.
Yeah.
Well, Lucy, let's start with, what does football mean to you?
Oh, I guess it's changed throughout the years. I think when I was younger, well, maybe it's in my late teens, early 20s, it was like everything to me. Mm-hmm. And I maybe put a bit too much on it.
Okay.
I've never seen it as a job, I'll be honest. But what it means to me now is like, yeah, it's changed. Because there's football, as in the football that I do, and then there's football that I'm part of, which is like the big picture. Yeah. And I think that means a lot to me now.
I guess that goes in parallel with what women's football has done as well, in a way, doesn't it? Like, before, you would just play football, whereas now it feels like it's a bit of a movement, almost.
Well, I always say, like, I feel like I'm so fortunate. My career's the same, yeah, exactly, literally exactly the same trajectory as women's football in England. Like, I think 2015 was when I had my moment. It also was like the moment for England football, and the WSL was kicking off, and then each tournament and just the stage getting bigger, the football getting bigger, in line with my career. So I've always felt quite lucky to be on the same journey as women's football.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to the very beginning then. What is your first memory of playing the game?
I mean, I played with my big brother. That was why I started playing. I think the thing that when I was younger, a lot of older brothers or siblings might have been like, no, my little sister's not coming, like, she's not joining in.
But he dragged you along?
Yeah, it would be like, oh, is your sister's coming? And he's like, yeah, and she's going to be on my team because she's good. And never had a problem with it. Would never let me win anything. If I won, it was because I earned it. But the fact that I never had that, like, barrier of girls can't play, or it's not girls' football, because my family and my brother was one of the best examples of it. It was like, my sister's playing with me. This is normal, and she's good, and that's fine. When
you look back, who would you say has had a big impact on your career football-wise? Like a person, is there a coach or anyone that perhaps you wouldn't be here without? I
mean, to be fair, the very first one was Ray Smith, who was my Alnwick Town coach. So when I was in the boys, he was a painter and decorator, and then helped with the team on the weekends and stuff. Yeah, just, you know, like your local volunteers and grassroots football. And at 12, the FA were like, Lucy can't play in the boys' team anymore, it's part of the rules. They've changed it since then. And my mum was like, well, she's got nowhere else to go. We can't take her anywhere, we can't afford to take her anywhere. So Ray went up to my mum and was like, please find Lucy a team, she'll play for England one day. Yeah, at 12 years old. What's been a turning point in your career? Has there been one? I'm almost wondering if maybe that conversation is it. I think a huge turning point for me was going to America. So in that time when my mum Googled women's football, the USA came up, like college, Mia Hamm, World Cup, Olympic champions, everything to do with women's football was USA. So in that, she was like, okay, let's go. So she strung up all the family and was like, let's go to the States.
All went?
Yeah, the next summer.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was like, we'll save up and we're gonna, if this is your dream, we're gonna take you and we're gonna see if it's like possibility. This was in the time of like Bend It Like Beckham and everything. So it was kind of a hot topic of go to America. Went to this soccer camp, and the coach there, he saw me play and he said, when she's old enough, she'll come back and she's got a scholarship. I was like, what? So I went back because England, long story short, England rejected me. So I went there, and that was the turning point.
We need to come back to that story.
Yeah, going to America and going to college, I only stayed for a year. That was the biggest turning point. You do have to take me back to England rejecting you. Yeah. So talk to me about that. What happened? Yeah, I mean, I was in the youth age groups, but I was never really like, I was never the star player, never ever the star player, or like the key player, or the one that was like picked out. You know, they used to give out scholarships and funding to help players. I never got picked for anything. And then they had a programme for Loughborough where you could train full-time and study. And in my age group, either you went there or you went to Arsenal Academy. And I was the only one who wasn't in either of them. And I applied for the Loughborough thing and they were like, she's just not good enough. Yeah. And my mum rang them back to say, what it is that she needs to improve on, and just never got the call back. So I was a bit like, so then my mum was like, right, America, let's go, let's do it.
Looking back on your career, you've played in, I mean, the biggest matches that you could have played in. If you could relive, though, one match, what would it be? And you can change the outcome if you want as well.
If I could just relive a moment just to feel the moment again, I think it would be 2015, playing in the World Cup. That was my second tournament, but it was my first time playing. And the fourth game in was the first moment I took the right-back spot from Alex Scott, and I scored like a really good goal, and England went through, and it was like, I always say like that was the moment my career was like, okay,
She's arrived.
Yeah.
So I was wondering which match you were going to say there, because you could have picked some from the summer, couldn't you? Of course,
this
as
summer,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, there was some memorable matches there, wasn't there? I firstly want to talk to you about the fact that you played the whole tournament with a broken leg. I know everyone's been talking about it. When we think of Lucy Bronze and the Euros winning the summer, we think of, oh my goodness,
broken leg.
She won a major tournament with a broken leg. How on earth do you do that?
I just knew I was in pain, so I'd been in pain for like a month nearly, and I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. It wasn't making sense, because I know all these things didn't make sense. And people were like, can't be broken, you won't be able to play. Like, you're in too much pain. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then it was when I mentioned it to the England doctor, who's known me for 10 years, and he was like, you're telling me you're in pain.
Is that not a thing that happens?
He was like, that doesn't make sense. That does not make sense to me. We need to check this. So then that's when we found out. And I think finding out was like a relief, because I knew what it was, but the first game I had to play with it, I was like, now that I know, this is a bit weird. By the time like the prep camps came, I wasn't in training, and people were like, why are you not in training? And I was like, oh, a broken leg. What? You got a broken leg? I was like, yeah, but I'll be fine, don't worry about me, I'll play. So everyone was like, yeah, okay.
The penalty shootout, you weren't one of the first penalty takers.
No.
Did you want to take one?
Well, basically we get asked before the tournament, like, which penalty would you be happy to take? And I'm always like, whatever you want me to take. Whatever you want me to do, I will do that. If it's first, last, whatever. Okay. But normally we practice penalties at the end of training. But I was never in the end of training because of my leg. So I was seventh. I was thinking, I'm probably not going to take one. So I'm stood in the line like the whole time, like cheering on the girls, like keeping them like focused. You can see who's taking it because they're like knowing what they're going to do, and I'm just trying to give them my energy and confidence. In my head, it's like didn't think I was going to take one.
But you didn't take the penalty like someone who wasn't expecting to take one, though.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, like, it was obviously not the best penalty shootout. We all know that. And there was nerves and stuff like that. And I remember looking down the line and thinking, wow, there's so many young players in this team. So when I did have to take the penalty, I was just like, I've got this.
Fast forward to the end of the tournament then, in that moment, it was such a hard-fought battle with Spain to win it. What went through your mind when you realised you'd done it again?
I don't know, because maybe I'm super, like I said this, but maybe I'm super confident with England, but when I went to the penalties, I think I already had the feeling that we'd won it, just because of what we went through with Sweden. And I know that obviously Spain hadn't gone through that, and I think experience counts for a lot in those moments. A bit like being the seventh penalty, I just had full confidence in the girls on the pitch, and I was just stood there like shouting and screaming, like celebrating, because I was just like, I know what's going to happen. I had confidence in Hannah and the girls. So then when it actually went in, it wasn't as like a bigger wow moment for me, because I was like, yeah, well, now, of course we were going to win the shootout. That's
mad. Let's learn a little bit more about Lucy Bronze away from the pitch then. And taking you back to your childhood again, there's been a lot said, particularly during the Euros, about your full name.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy, Roberta...
Lucia,
sorry.
Roberta, Tough Bronze.
Obviously, everyone is talking about the tough, because I think it's quite apt, isn't it? You've shown it your whole career,
my whole life. Well, it's my mum's maiden name, so it's my English side of my family, which is like the people I'm closest to on my mum's side is my nan, my auntie, and obviously my mum are like the three main women. Yeah. So they're like the tough women, and they live in, like, my auntie was a police officer.
Okay.
And my mum was a maths teacher.
Oh.
So tough by nature. And they tell me stories of like what they had to do in their work to like find a way, especially for a woman, to be like successful and stuff. So I've just been brought up around that. So yeah, it's my name, but I've inherited from the tough women in my life who have lived it as well. I had no option but to be like that.
And of course, your dad is Portuguese, is that right? Do you consider yourself like half Portuguese? It's something you're quite proud of?
The only reason I was born in England was because my mum's dad passed away the week before I was born.
Oh, wow.
So we flew back to England, and then I was born on the day of his funeral. Yeah. So we ended up staying in England, but that was never the plan. So we used to go back to Portugal I sound like a snotty little kid, but every single time we had a break, we went to Portugal.
Oh,
and the kids at school were like, "You're going to Portugal again?" I was like, "I'm going to see my family."
Yeah.
We very much spent Christmases there, summers there, half terms. So we spent a lot of time in Portugal growing up.
With everything that's come through the women's game and everything you've been through, you're quite passionate about the future of the game. You're on like a PFA board and it feels like you give back quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to. I think I got to a certain point where I felt like in a position where my mum said it to me. She was like, when you say something, like, people listen. And I don't think I realised that because I was that shy girl. Got into my 20s and my mum was like, no, like, they'll listen to you. You need to, like, you can speak up now. So I put myself forward for every single player board known to women's football. I think my name's on it. I just want to, like, help people, and why not?
You're probably too humble to admit it, but is there any one example of you having gone out your way to do something to help someone?
I mean, I remember, obviously, like, there's, like, deaf teams in football. Mm-hmm. The GB deaf football team are going to the Deaf Olympics soon, in November, and they were struggling to raise money. So I gave them £10,000 for the training kit, and then I got them the nutrition and some extra, like, stuff.
Why did you want to do that?
Because I got that opportunity, so why shouldn't they have that just because, I don't know, they're not in like a mainstream limelight to be able to have the sponsors and afford to do it.
What is something that people get wrong about you?
That I'm like overly driven or arrogant or too focused or too like...
Do you think people think you're arrogant?
I think I did maybe when I was younger, but I think, yeah, it's kind of me being so focused and like, obviously I've spoken about being autistic and feeling like you get to the solution quicker or you problem solve quicker. I've always been really good at that and not very good at slowing down for other people to like get on the same page as me. And sometimes that comes across the wrong way of me just being, maybe it's a bit bullish, but it's just me like wanting to help. I'm like, I can give you the solution. That's going to help you.
Problem solver.
Yeah, but I understand now that that's not always what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's maybe it's had me misunderstood a lot.
You mentioned there your autism and you spoke so candidly, so openly about your diagnosis. The response was incredible from everyone. Did it surprise you how many people responded to that? Because it hit home with so many people, didn't it? Yeah, even like now, and I feel like I spoke about it months ago and so much has happened since then. But even now it's something that people want to speak to me about or talk about as well. And it just surprised me because to me it was like, oh, it's just who I am. It's not, I don't know, obviously it kind of does make me different and does make you special in such a different way, but I've never seen myself as that. It was just, this is how I am, this is how I think, and it's nice to share it with people because other people go through that, but the response was crazy. Just people in the street coming and speaking to me about them or their kids. Or there was like a young boy who came up to me at a Chelsea game and he was like, oh, I've been diagnosed as autistic as well, and so cool that you are as well, and you play for Chelsea. And I just thought that's so nice that he has something like, I'm not like different as in I'm not a bad person or I'm not naughty, which I think has been the stereotype for years, as long as I can remember. But that he can be like, no, it's not a bad thing, like she plays football the best she can because of it, and that's what I've said, like it's because of my autism that I feel like I became a better footballer. Lucy, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us.